mention of his name gets me mad. Sammy Nasri.
Mopo, you are an absolute disgrace. You're a cheat. I hope Brighton get relegated.
Don't blame it on Mope.
Do you know how bad it is? Last night I was chatting to my mum, yeah? My mum's wenger in. Is she mad?
Don't let him shoot, don't let him shoot, don't let him shoot, don't let him shoot.
The year is 1628. Relations between Parliament and Charles have never been more strained after Parliament discovered Charles' falsified case records. MPs, now more united than ever, are demanding action to prevent anything like this from happening again. The Petition of Right was the response issued by Parliament, aiming to restrict his prerogative powers. The main points are: Parliament had to consent to taxation, people could not be imprisoned without just cause, martial law could not be imposed on the population, and billeting could also not be forced on the population. Now we come to Charles. Charles, it's looking like another home defeat for you, as Parliament is drafting written restrictions to your powers with the Petition of Right. What was your response to this?
Well, I have to say I am quite pissed off, as my prerogative has been threatened. However, I was left with no choice but to sign it on the 7th of June 1628, due to the threat of further parliamentary proceedings, and well, I was desperate for parliamentary funds for this foreign policy. But I never used the traditional form of royal assent of bills, and that denied the petition the force of law.
And lastly, what are your thoughts on the vilification of Buckingham by Parliament?
How dare they? Buckingham is the most aesthetically pleasing gentleman I have ever seen in my life. His vilification is extremely unfair and unjust. He has done so much for this nation, and I couldn't be happy with what he's doing. Trust the process.
And now we will move over to Edward Cook, one of the drafters of the petition. After witnessing Charles overstep his boundaries countless times in the past, how are you feeling about today's events?
Charles has proved time and time again that he can't be trusted, affecting both his relationship with Parliament and his ability to rule. Abusing his powers to pass through the forced loan showed his subjects that he is a man who can't be trusted, and his various foreign affairs failures like La Rochelle really strengthened my belief that Charles should have Brownies too. Now, after Charles purposely failing to acknowledge the petition by not using the royal assent, it speaks for itself.
After Charles signed the bill, it was clear that he got a bit heated, denouncing Buckingham as the cause of all our miseries. Why did he feel so strongly about him, and in this way?
How could anyone in this country, let alone the political nation, respect someone as corrupt and manipulative as Buckingham? For countless years he's been the king's right-hand man, influencing him into taking catastrophic decisions, such as the Madrid trip, the Cadiz expedition in 1625, and especially La Rochelle in 1627, where we were humiliated due to Buckingham's actions, and now meant that Britain was at war with both Spain and France. If only there was a way to get rid of that man once and for all.
And now we take a short break as Parliament session is temporarily suspended for the summer. John, what drove you to do what you did today?
Ever since James brought him to power, he's manipulated monarchy and took our country to the gutter. He humiliated us away at Cadiz, he humiliated us away at La Rochelle, and then he tried to ruin things at home. He never paid me back my £80 either, so he just got what was coming.
Do you think your actions will have a knock-on effect with members of the political nation, possibly even to attack Charles himself?
Buckingham was the one behind the scenes corrupting Charles to make the poor choices he did. The longer he stayed by Charles's side, the more damage he would have done. I'm not the only one thinking this, because Parliament issued a remonstrance against him and tried removing him in 1626. Charles may not like it, but he should thank me for removing that evil influence.
And now we come back to Charles. Charles, you must be devastated right now after finding out this news. How are you dealing with Buckingham, your right-hand man, not being here anymore?
Bastard. I've never felt so depressed in my life. Buckingham was a great man. He always did right by his king. It's all Parliament's fault for portraying him so negatively. I shall hold a procession for him, travelling through London to Westminster Abbey, with armed men stationed along the route. Mark my words, I will make his killer pay.
What actions will you take now to prevent something so heinous from happening again?
Well, in order to prevent such atrocious acts of violence from ever taking place again in the future, I'm withdrawing myself even further from the public, and I'm keeping my inner circle relatively small. Additionally, I will also listen to the advice of my beautiful French Catholic wife, Henrietta Maria.
And that's all for today on Armenian Fan TV.